Alright, hello and welcome everybody. This will be the first video, the first part of the series, which I decided that, it's time to kind of throw out there. Fundamentals in Smash. What are they? And that's what we're going to be doing today. What are the basic fundamentals? Now, everything that I talked about in this video, if you look in the description below, I'll kind of put down there, so that way if I went too fast, or if you need an extensive list, or you don't want to write it down yourself, I'll go ahead and do that. So check below in the description for everything that's going to be talked about, and I'm just going to use Mario mainly because he's one of the easiest ones to use to show you all the different fundamentals, such as, like B reversing, if B reversing is even a fundamental. So, I would say the 5 fundamentals, if we had to list 5. I really thought a lot about this. The first one, the first fundamental is learning your movement. The difference between things like dashing versus walking. So here we see where we're walking, right? So knowing what's the difference. And then there are plenty of videos out there as to what the differences are. We're not going to get that specific at some cases. But like dashing, being able to shield at certain distances, walking, being able to shield immediately, stuff like that. Knowing when to dash versus knowing when to walk. And that's very specific. That would be its own video series once we get there. Things like, so this all falls under movement. Knowing how to move with your character. And I don't think it's just movement. Everybody knows that you can jump, you can double jump, you can short hop, all that stuff. But knowing how to be fluid with your character is more important. Knowing what aerials kind of have no landing lag and being able to jump out of it, keeping a very fluid, steady pace. If you watch most pros, they're very quick. They make their characters seem faster than they appear. So like when you first pick up somebody like Ike, it feels really slow and clunky, but once you really learn his dashing and his neutral air auto cancels, you can really get a character that's super quick on the ground. So under movement, we have dashing versus walking. We have dash dancing, stuff like this. That's good for bobbing and weaving, coming in and coming out. So if you notice your opponent sitting still likes to throw out attacks, or that if they always land with like an attack in front of you, or if they're always coming down with like a neutral air, or like with like Martha Lucino, they always come down with a forward air in front of you, and you're tired of it hitting your shield, you just dash in, dash out, dash in. That's a great way of doing it, which leads to weaving, bobbing and weaving. That's another part of Smash. So another part of the movement would be short hop, fast falling, also known as shuffling. So this is a full hop. You notice that it's very quick. It's almost like a balloon, and you hit a balloon that slows down near the top. Whereas the short hop, you don't get it nearly as much, and this is explained in a lot of other videos, but what they don't really show is how to use short hop to get in and get out. You can bob and weave in the air as well. Now, some characters are going to have better horizontal air mobility than other characters, and of course with a cast of 70 plus characters, you're going to have a wide variety of horizontal air mobility. But learning how to short hop fast fall, so as I hit the apex of my short hop, right there, I'm pressing down, as opposed to just letting him fall. So this is without the pressing, and this is with. You can see there's a bigger difference. And this is good because a lot of times what I'll see the average newcomer do is when they land with an attack on somebody's shield, they get grabbed a lot, or they'll. I'll weave in, I'll turn away, and then smash them. So like if I know like what the Meta Knight is right here in the screen, like if they're gonna land with a forward air right there, a lot of times I'll just put myself out of the out of their range of attack, and I'll just forward smash, and that would be like a stutter step in that case. But my forward smash needs a little bit extra, that horizontal boost on the ground. But like I'll move out of the way. Short hop fast falling is another way to kind of incorporate the opponent. You can run up to him real quick and grab him. We call that the tomahawk, which is something we'll cover more in depth later. It also allows you to weave in, weave out, get behind them, do a cross up, but it's really good for the tomahawk. That sets up your grab game, which is actually its own fundamental. And then spacing is part of movement as well. Movement is fine, everything, knowing, oh, I can move great with my character, but if you don't know when to dash in, when to dash out, as well as how to space properly, then movement is terrible. Like for Meta Knight, like right about here, he becomes dangerous with like his forward tilt and his forward smash. So if I'm dash dancing right here, I'm gonna get hit by him. Like there's no point in dash dancing here. But dash dancing right here would be way better because I'm right outside his zone of proximity. And that's more like foxtrotting than dash dancing. If I'm right outside of his zone of proximity, if he throws out something, I can easily run in and grab him. So spacing is a point. I like to think of it as every character has like a green, red, and yellow zone. The red zone for me, I'm in Meta Knight's red zone right now. I'm close to him. He can grab me. He can hit me with all of his attacks. I'm in his red zone. Now I'm in that yellow zone, which if he throws something out, I might be able to dash out as he throws it out. Anything beyond that's green. Like right now, I'm in the green zone. Green meaning he can't hit me. I like to stay in the green zone if I have like a projectile, fireball. So I try to throw out as many projectiles as possible. Remember, you do have an infinite supply, so why not use whatever you can? So spacing is a huge concept, and that's going to be its own like character-specific thing too. Like what moves do you have that help you space better? Like Mario's back here, for example. That's a great spacing option because as I throw it out, it throws out that large hitbox to the left. That's great knockback, but it allows me to kind of weave in and out. And should I stay in the zone, I can hit. Here if you throw out an attack, a short hop over something. So a lot of times you'll see characters will grab or down tilt while you're in front of them, and if they throw out a move, then you can short hop over it. The first fundamental, once again, we talked about movement, learning how to be fluid with your character. Now, what do I mean, by the way, when I say fundamentals? Fundamentals are any skills or techniques that can be used or are readily transferable to the rest of the cast. So once you learn how to get good with Mario, like let's say that's your main at the beginning, and his movement, you should be able to go to another character and learn how to practice their movement. That's also kind of, I would say, is predicated on you knowing what your character's movesets are. Like, you know his side B's, his cave, his down B's, his flood, up B, his vertical recovery. With like Meta Knight, you know his neutral B is his tornado, his side B is his Jura, so on and so forth. So you really have to have a mastery, or at least a great understanding of your moves and what they are and what they do. And in the famous words of Isaiah, just don't get hit. That's probably the best fundamental out there. And your fundamentals help you not to get hit. Now, I would say the next fundamental out there that people need to master is pressuring and punishing. The best way to pressure and punish simply is to make reads. You run at an opponent, they spot dodge, they shield, or they roll behind you. Putting characters at a disadvantaged state, and that's something that we're going to talk about more in our vodcast. What happens when you're at disadvantage? Disadvantage means that I have now put a character in a bad spot. So, for example, if this Meta Knight is up on a platform, like right there, I'm now under him right now. He is disadvantaged because nothing that he does, unless he falls through the platform and hits me with his down air, nothing's going to hit me. I am underneath him. I have all the opportunities in the world to combo him, or to throw something underneath him, or I can fake an attack, and I can, I'm going to down your shield, I stay below him, you know, with my little short hop here, and then I come down real quick and I grab him. That's another way to kind of put somebody at disadvantage. One of the biggest problems I see is, like, let's say right now the minute's at 158. He's pressured right now. He doesn't want to die. He knows that basically anything I do, I could roll behind him. Super pressure right here, right? And I can grab him and toss him off the edge, back throw him, and he's dead. You know, something like that. A lot of times I'll see if somebody runs up and they'll have him in this pressure situation. You know, the opponent will have their back to the edge here. And there's not really many two things that they can do here. They can jump out, they can shield, they can spot dodge, they can roll. Like, they can go back to the edge. Some characters can go under the stage and go to the other side. But really, their options are limited to here. You can air dodge out. You can air dodge through it. You know, there's only so many things you can do. I see too many people stay in this position. You know, they have a disadvantage, and then they'll just roll out, and they'll reset the situation back to neutral. That is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, is giving up your pressure situation and returning to neutral if you have the advantage. When you have the advantage, you need to press it as much as possible. So like right now, Meta Knight's up on this platform is at 30%, right? Like what you should do is you should be poking, hitting with those up airs, staying below, throwing out aerials, and when you land, notice I didn't land on that top platform. I tried to land off it, because if they shield it, and if I come down with that down air, and he shields it, now guess what? I have given up my advantage. He now has then the advantage. I am disadvantaged, and he can grab me out of it, or down tilt me, or up beat me out of shield, use some of his options. So like landing on platforms in front of people when you're underneath them, that's a big thing. Or just landing in front of them in general is a way to give up your advantage and put you at a disadvantage. So sometimes, a lot of times what I like to do is I like to poke. You know, poke, just throw out aerials like in front of them, they hit. Or if not, you know, get him in their shield, get their shield to be a little lower. You know, try to hit him with these low attacks. You know, up airs. Some characters have like he can do like an up smash and it goes through the platform, or Ganondorf, and he doesn't have to give up anything. But that's a very laggy move. Using smashes are ways to give up advantage because they're very laggy. If you whiff, oh my goodness. When to roll, spot dodge, and parry, part of pressuring and punishing. If you know how to roll properly, I guess the best way to roll properly is when you're in front of somebody, like right about here, and you know they're throwing out attack, or like you know that like this Mario I'm playing, he loves the neutral area, he never really approaches, and this character doesn't really approach. Isabelle's a good example of this. Isabelle just throws out that her back and forward air the whole time, shoots those little not boomerangs, but the little projectiles at you. They never really approach, so a good way to get in is to run in shield, and as they're landing, you can roll behind them. And the roll behind is really good against certain characters like Snake. Snake loves to do that jab and forward tilt, down tilt, up tilt, all of his tilts basically. So when you're in front of them, roll behind, and now you've put them at a disadvantaged state, and you're pressuring them, and allows you to get that punish, because if they do anything, any attack, you get a free grab out of it every time. Also, a lot of people, I'll see when you can get behind them. Like, let's say Meta Knight roll behind me, and now I'm in Mario. I'm like, I'm freaking out. Let me shield. Or I shield and I jump out from neutral air. Or I roll away. And that's the best one. If you know somebody is freaking out, they're at 91%, they're gonna roll away. Oh my goodness! You just roll behind them, and then just run up, dash attack, or run up. You can do a short hop aerial. You can do a smash attack, like a jump canceled up smash, or a reverse up smash. You know, so, oh, got behind you. Oh, ready roll, boom, got you, boom, got you with up smash. Marios love reading rolls. That also means, like, let's say I hit this Meta Knight. This one's probably not going to do it, but you see many times where somebody hits you, and you hit the ground, you tech it, and when you tech, you do a tech roll. You have to learn how to read those tech rolls and punish with either up smashes or down smashes or forward smashes, depending upon your character. A lot of punishing bad habits this kind of leads into, which is rolling. A lot of times, if you dash attack somebody, they will immediately jump after you dash attack them. So sometimes with players like Snake, I'll dash attack with Snake, and then I jump and double jump neutral in. Yeah, catch that second jump in there. So, Clouds are so good at this. They'll dash attack somebody, boom, hit him with that large sword, and then they'll run and do a pivot back air, and they'll catch your jump. And catching somebody's jump is one of the main strategies in this game. You catch somebody's jump, you put them off stage, you now have the opportunity to edge guard, take a stock without having to kind of get them to that those high 150s, or get that lucky smash, you know. It's not the war of attrition at that point. It's, haha, I gimped you, I teased you, I took a stock. And that's basically the point of this game, taking a stock. Another bad habit I see all the time is landing with an aerial facing opponent. I kind of said this already. The pressuring and punishing, you gotta get used to parrying. Letting go of that shield right before it hits you. Now, if somebody told me a strategy for learning how to parry, which is take your turtle shell, go to Shadow Moses Island, and then just throw a turtle shell, and you just practice parrying that turtle shell, which is great. Remember, you want to let go of the shield before it hits you, within 5 frames of it hitting you. So you kind of have to let it go before you. It's anticipation. So far, the 2 fundamentals: 1, movement, and 2, pressuring and punishing. So the next one, we're not really going to go too much into it, is learning how to how to play at the edge. This means ledge play, getting off the edge, get-up attacks, knowing when to do a get-up attack, knowing when to do a stand straight up, and you know, when you get up, you can get grabbed, you can get smashed. That's easy enough. You can roll off the edge. You can jump off the edge. That's probably the most common choice amongst pros. You can drop down and jump. You can drop to the right and jump. So like on this edge, if I press down, straight down. If I go press right, notice it's not as straight down as it is. And they both have their merits. Like with Cloud, if I'm trying to edge guard with Cloud, I don't press down first and do my neutral layer. You notice I kind of fall below the stage there. But if I press away from the edge and jump the neutral layer, I can land with it. So like they all have certain properties. So know how to play the edge, get back on the stage is a huge thing, which means that knowing how to stall and knowing how to use recovery. Oh, I upped the wrong way. There goes my stock. I suicided. Yeah, gotta master your recovery. Learning how to up B at the proper time, knowing when to stall, preserving that jump. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna preach. Preserve that second jump of yours. That is your most important resource. When you're recovering, if at all possible, let's say you get knocked out. So sure, try to recover low if you want at times, but if your opponent hits you, perchance, while you're doing your up B, like let's say I was up there, but hit me, and knocked me away from the stage, if I preserve my jump, and I'm way out here, I got it. Some characters have large jump, large up Bs, and it's way easier to recover if you preserve that jump. So learning how to recover is vital. And every character is going to have a different recovery, like Meta Knight. Throw him off the edge. He's got multiple jumps. You should never be able to edge guard a Meta Knight. With all those jumps, all of his options, he can drill rush, he can up B back to stage, he can tornado back to stage. So that would be a more character-specific thing. And edge guarding. I don't see this enough. I have a lot of members in my club. A lot of, they're newbies. They're really still learning the game. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're still decent. But I don't see them, running off enough, trying to catch their opponent off guard. And that takes practice. So like run off back air at the edge. Get to the edge, drop down back air, or ledge trump your opponent and then jump with the back air. Or run off, do a jump. This is something I love to do with like Mario. I just jump with my back towards the opponent. I do it with Mario because his back air is way better than his forward air in terms of ledge pressuring. And I'll just try to kill my opponent that way. I go high, I force him to recover a specific way. Against Ganon, Ganons love to recover low. So with Ganons, I love to stay at the edge. And as they're recovering, jump down, or drop down and do a back air. Knock them off, try to catch their jump. Some characters, obviously, Bayonetta, you're not going to be able to edge guard that well. Meta Knight being another one. So yeah, learning how to edge guard. Now remember, these videos are supposed to be like introduction to fundamentals. Another fundamental, shield options. Shielding and knowing that you can jump out of shield. Learning when to shield as opposed to parrying. Does your opponent have a command grab? Neither one of these characters have a command grab. Is like, let's say Meta Knight shielding. I can be in the air and I can be falling with a command grab and I can grab them out of their shield. Wario has a bite. I would say D's inhale is a form of a command grab. Bowser's side B can grab you out of the air. Anything that you can grab somebody in the air with, I would consider in this game to be a command grab. It's like you're playing against, if you have one, learning when to use it. So if an opponent's up on a platform and you're below him, you can do a rising command grab like Wario does this, and he's very good at it. So if I'm here and a Wario's below me and I'm shielding, I'm looking more towards jumping out. Probably some kind of roll when he's below me, because I don't want to stay in my shield. But like, think about Mario. And this is Meta Knight. Let's say this Meta Knight sees I'm in his zone here. I'm spacing him. I'm pressuring him. He doesn't know when I'm going to come down. He's going to jump. He's going to smash me. What's he thinking, right? He's short hopping. The worst thing that can happen when I'm in the air is I hit you. I come down with an attack and I hit you. That's the worst thing that can happen for Mario if I'm in the air. Maybe I hit you with a fireball and I follow it up with like a smash. If you shield, the worst that can happen is your shield gets hit. Then you can jump out of it, or you can roll out of it. I don't know if you noticed, but you can also tilt your shields up and down to help with those high and low aerials. So, like, against characters like Mario, or Cena, or Snake, or Meta Knight, when I see them jumping in front of me, and I'm like, well, what's the worst thing that I can do in this position? Is I'm going to shield. At least that gives me a chance to get out of that option. Like Ike, for example, or even Ness. If Ness is coming down, I know this Ness is going to come down with a forward air and try and pressure me. You know, from there, or even like Cloud. Clouds love to do a forward air, like fast forward air, hit you forward air, and then hit you with like a side B out of it, or hit you with a back air out of it. You know, shield it. Like learning when to shield as opposed to rolling, or as opposed to spot dodging. You know, there are times spot dodging is good. You know, like for that quick, oh, I jabbed you. Or I got behind you and you threw out an attack, or like, oh, I know you're coming down with an attack, and I know this is the timing of it, so I'll just spot. That's good at times too, and following up grab. Another thing to do without a shield, and Mario has this, and so does Meta Knight, is as you're shielding, you can up B out of shield. So if somebody hits your shield, you can up B out of it, and it's not like Brawl or Smash Wii U where I have to set different controls because up jump doesn't work. I have my tap jump off. If you have tap jump on, you can easily just press up on the control stick and then press B. In this game, you can do it without having any special controls. I'm literally just pressing up and B while holding down the R button. My finger did not come off the R button. And you can up B out of shield. And this is great. So if somebody lands on my shield in front of me, I can just up B out of shield. Boom, got him. Now characters like Cena and Mars, oh my god, up B out of shield, those are kill. Definitely kill potential. Crom, like those are great. I see their up Bs as like, oh my goodness, I'm tilting my opponent. Meta Knight is a great up B out of shield for killing, but also know your percents too, right? Meta Knight, look at Mario, his up B has kind of a lot of lag. You can't do anything, he goes to free fall. So if you miss, you're getting punished. So you have to understand when to use it, and that takes practice, knowing when you can and cannot. A lot of experience. Honestly, just messing up a lot and be like, oh, okay, I guess I can't do it in that situation. Another thing to do is what to do when your opponent hits your shield. So like, let's say I'm here and the Meta Knight hits me with a forward. This game has an intriguing, to say the least, buffering system and shield options, because there's a lot of shield stun in this game. So I just have the general rule: when someone smashes my shield, more than likely than not, they have the positive range of damage, meaning that they are at advantage. I'm more than likely not able to follow it up, even if it's with my fastest move, with my jab. But this doesn't apply to all situations, right? But there's a lot of situations where this applies to. I know if I walk up to this Meta Knight and I down smash him and he shields it, he can absolutely grab me out of it, forward tilt me out of it, down tilt out of it. And that's more something that you're going to have to practice for character specific. But the really heavy knockback moves, like his forward smash, has a ton of shield stun. Let's see, what's a character I haven't talked about yet? Like Donkey Kong smashes have a lot of shield stun. What you want to do instead with those is you just want to jump out. If somebody hits your shield with a really heavy attack, jump out of it. Or roll out of it. And if you know it's a heavy attack like this forward smash, just spot dodge it. Come on. Like, why even take the chance of getting hit? You know, breaking your shield is so much easier in this game, I think, than in any other game for Smash that I've ever played. So we are, and that was number 4. I was shield options. Now I know I said I'd have 5. But, you know, I was just thinking about it, I think I want to add a 6th one. I would say 5, the 5th fundamental is know your grab game, combos, and follow-ups. So grab game, like for Mario, down throw leads to things like short hop up airs, even full hop up airs. At low percents, you want to do, that would be a follow-up right there, right? So I went up air, and I followed up, and I'm trying to get below him as fast as possible. So I'm hitting with an up air, and I'm landing with a fastball, and I'm trying to get back to the stage, that way I can get my double jump back. So I don't really use the up throw because that puts him out of position. There's no way for me to follow it. But down throw, you know, I could, you know, use that to kind of like read my opponent. So like grab game, every character has a throw which they use for a situation. Diddy Kong. If you down throw, you could down throw to back air at low percents. You know, you can up throw to up air at higher percent. So you need to know this because it's kind of guaranteed damage. Characters like Mario, I'll show you here in a second as soon as the internet comes back. I'm gonna grab him. I'm gonna do my little up air string. Notice how like the up air didn't work there, so I should understand as Mario that his percent is probably better to down smash, down tilt, or stutter step forward smash. At these higher percents, however, I might be able to do a short step forward and get that spike. Let's see if I can get it here. Bam! Didn't get spiked, but I landed it. So that's a higher percent. Knowing how to follow up grabs, even getting the grabs, learning how to pressure opponents and shielding. Now, if all you're doing is attacking your opponent and they just do nothing but shield, you now condition them, and that's where short hop fast falling comes into place. Oh, I'm gonna hit you, Coming out that forward air, or coming out that neutral air. Nope, psych, grabbed you instead. And it's quick, and their characters like Pikachu. Oh my, Pikachu's so quick. Like, you can't tell the difference sometimes. Like, I got hit. Oh, no, it's actually a throw. Dang, that's crazy. Pikachu, well, all these characters, you know, have like this ridiculous tomahawk. Combos. Know your combos. Like, oh my god. I didn't hit that close. Alright, and I would say the last fundamental is number 6. We edited it. Whatever. And this is something that kind of came to mind, was limiting your predictability. Remember, these are all skills that kind of transfer over from character to character. Learning your mix-ups. So like with Mario, where like somebody's trying to get me when they kill them and they're coming back. Something I love to do is I'll jump out this way. Oh, I'm going this way. Psych! And then B reverse. Oh, I'm jumping this way. Psych! And then I land, you know, quite beautifully between the platforms as I'm spacing. You know, oh, I'm going this way. Psych! You know, B reversing is great for that. And it actually helps the movement too, which we talked about earlier. Learning, some characters don't have it, like Mark and Lucina, they don't have that B-reverse capability for their movement special. Snake is great for this. His grenades are amazing for this. Any projectile character has this as well. Toon Link, all the Links, honestly. And also, when you limit your predictability, indirectly versus directly attacking. Running at an opponent and always running at them on the ground, trying to grab, running at them, trying to dash attack, running at them, trying to attack, run at them, try to shield, run at them. They all start with run at them. That's a direct attack. And indirect would be dash in, dash out. Forcing them, pressuring them to do something, jumping behind them, getting in the air dodging underneath them, under them, so that way they throw something. Consider it like a back attack or a cross-up. You know, if you're getting to them from their front, from their face, now it would be direct. So you get behind them, roll behind them. Or bob and weave, you know, like don't directly attack all the time. Your better players will catch on to this, and they'll know how to beat that game. So that's it for this video. It's quite the long video, longer than I thought it was going to be. We have so much more to talk about, like what is it that your character does well, and how to use those moves to make those strategies effective, like up close and fast moves, aerials, range attack, when to stay grounded, when to stay aerial. Like I said, this is just part 1 of the series. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first rundown of the fundamentals of Smash. And if you need anything, or if you want to comment below, you know, whatever it is that you're thinking, I'll take it into account. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next